Good afternoon, good evening, good everything. Hello, I'm Cassandra Joan Butler with Cosmic Connections. For this week, as we prepare for the new cycle in Cancer, and that takes place on Tuesday. I have to blot my lips. There, it gets better. It's one thing to wear lipstick, it's another thing to overwear lipstick, I always say. So, friends, I bet I'm not going to get a lot of folks watching tonight because if I were you, I'd be out kayaking or hiking or gardening or getting outside if you happen to be in Western New York. What a beautiful evening is it? But if maybe you're watching it after the fact, after live, the intention here for me is simply to share the astrology of the week. Hi, Nancy. Hello. And you can always do the replay. How was everyone's Independence Day celebration? Did anyone see fireworks? I did for the past many, many decades. It's a family tradition to watch them at Mayville Park in Chautauqua County. My parents had a place on Chautauqua Lake, and me and my sisters continue the tradition. Chautauqua County, where Lilydale is, and Chautauqua Institution is a very sacred place near and dear to our hearts. Hi, Joe and Joni. Yay, Joni. Hi, Valerie. It's dark here, really? Are you guys in the middle of a storm? Gail, hello, big hugs. Hi, Jerry. Great to see you. And so, in any case, here we are, friends. We're in between that cycle of getting serious on what we want to change in our lives because we had the quarter cycle and preparing and feeling a little tired as we prepare for the new cycle next Tuesday. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both. But I also want to comment on this past week. I think I mentioned it last Wednesday, but we did have on Friday last week. So that is this past Friday, which seems like months ago, doesn't it? That would have been Friday. Let me get my calendar. On Friday, on July the 3rd at 11:08 p.m., we had the Mars-Uranus conjunction. And that could have stirred some stuff up, right? It certainly stirred some stuff up. What's Mars? Anger, activity, action. Uranus is unexpected. Certainly stirred up some unexpected weather across the land. It stirred up some unexpected reaction about celebrating the July 4th holiday. But maybe in your own private life, it stirred up some perhaps anger, impatience, especially if you are a strong mutable sign, which is Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces. So, my friends, it peaked last Friday. It's lingering down. I had some, in the moment, I call it red light activities, right? Not that type of activity, but red light, like you turn the alarm on and there's something very exciting and unpredictable happening and you have to attend to it right away. So that was a coloring of the July 4th weekend. I hope your unexpected things were okay. I know many people had unexpected situations come up, like an emergency visit for poison ivy or emergency visit that's bad enough, but not life-threatening, etc. Anyway, as we exhaled on Tuesday, yesterday, we had the quarter cycle, and I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about yesterday's energy on Tuesday because the planet Neptune, the dream maker, went retrograde. We all know that Mercury's retrograde, right? And that can stir up feelings and emotions and insecurities about not belonging and downloads about early upbringing, not getting enough love or attention, in some instances food or security. So perhaps some of those experiences percolated in your mind this past week with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer. But now that Neptune's retrograde in the sign of Aries, and that's one of the biggest news stories of this entire year, it might be begging this question for you. And this started on Tuesday, and it goes until almost Christmas. Neptune will be retrograde. It goes direct. Let me give you the exact date. Neptune will be retrograding, redoing, rethinking, reconsidering until the 12th of December. We may be rethinking or refeeling our goals and or our identity, who we are. I've encountered that with a lot of my clients this past week. I'm not sure what my goals are. I think I know who I am, but I'm rethinking it. You see, astrology, moment by moment, is a system and a cycle of discovery. And when that discovery spins around in our lifetimes, we get to that point, that peak of, I know what I want. I know who I am. Bang, the universe has another layer of evolution. And it often prepares us to keep on searching and keep on questioning. So when the planets go retrograde, especially a planet like Neptune, it's asking us this question: is your goal, is your dream worth pursuing? So be aware of that. That just happened on Tuesday, yesterday, until, like I said, it goes direct on the 12th of December. And all that means, friends, is that life is about the cycling of rethinking through things, right? Does that make sense? Hello, dear friend Jody and Debbie and Christine and Cynthia. Hello, Brigitte. Hello, darling. Actually, you came very strong in my brain today. Hi, Anne-Marie. Kayla, honey? How are you? Yes, Nancy, it was. And I want to speak to that. It was a violent July 4th in my hometown, unprecedented in terms of violence and shootings and so forth. But that violence is continuing. And I think that's the Mars-Uranus conjunction. And in Buffalo's chart, it's very strongly being activated in Buffalo's chart. I'll leave it at that. Hi, Barbara. Nice to see you. Patricia, nice to see you. Cindy, Claire, fantastic. Sitting outside in your lounge chair, enjoying the beautiful night. Fabulous. I think I already said hi to Gail and Jerry, but I always appreciate you guys being here. Hi, Ryan. I ask myself, who am I every day? Well, that's a good Pisces mantra, right? I look in the mirror and I say, he's our local comedian here. Tammy, hello. Greg, hello. Hi, Nancy R. and Jules. So nice to see you. Hi, Janet. Hi, you guys. I always love seeing you. Big hugs to you both, Janet and John. So in any case, friends, it's been a week. And but in my experience, I exhaled yesterday. I felt myself feeling more irritated than normal because that conjunction I spoke of, Mars, anger, impatience, and Uranus, unexpected things. I was just kind of like, oh no, another interruption, plus the Mercury retrograde. I can't get anything done. And when we have those moments, I think the best use of the astrology is to check what's happening. And then you get that detachment and you step away from those moments so you don't take them personally. When you're feeling a certain way, you can reboot faster, rebalance faster, and or you don't do one of these things with the people around you, because that can be very dangerous to blame someone else for your mood. Even if that someone else is in a bad mood. Or one of the key phrases in this culture these days are, it used to be narcissist, right? Right? Oh, everyone's a narcissist. And now the magic word is toxic. You know, I got to stay from toxic people. Guess what? We're all a little toxic, right? And so the astrology kind of paces that for us. I'm rambling. Let me get to the slides. Overall, it was a good week. I had some amazing readings with people, which were kind of mind-blowing, actually. I'm going to speak on this just for a moment here. This involves, I'm not going to disclose, I never disclose names of anyone I work with, But leave it at this. I had a very dear client friend who's also a healer who passed away this past year. And she did a lot of wonderful work with people. And one of her clients and one of my clients is the same person, did not realize she had passed. And the story goes something like this. All three of us do mediumship and are spiritual. The one woman actually was communicating with the person who had been in spirit for a couple of months. And she shared that with me. And then I was the bearer of the news that she had passed away. And it was quite a moment. It was quite extraordinary. But I'll leave it at that. I want to bring the charts in here. And some other extraordinary things were happening this week as well. And the charts show this. When I say extraordinary, I veer on the chart right here of yesterday. The message between now and next Tuesday is, the Sabian symbol is brownies, which can be interpreted not like brownies, the girls group, but brownies are like fairies or nature spirits dancing in the setting sun. The interpretation of this is attunement to unseen forces, that we're not alone. There are nature spirits. There are spirits around us at all times, so to speak. And look at what's happening on this wheel. The asteroid Angel is extremely strong. And you might remember that the full moon of last Monday was an angel carrying a harp. So this phase that we're in right now, friends, turn things over to the unseen forces. And don't be shocked if you get some direct experiences with unusual, some people call it paranormal or supernatural. I call it spiritual intervention, communication. I would love to hear from any of you who have gotten some of those validating experiences this past week, because we're in it in full force right now, with Angel being the handle of the bucket. Expect messages from the unseen world, especially with the Sabian symbol. Again, this is called the fourth quarter phase, meaning between Tuesday, yesterday, and Tuesday next week, which is the focus of our talk today, the new moon, we can expect more validation from spirit, from God. So be open to it. Don't be shocked. There's the Uranus-Mars conjunction. It's letting up. It was peaking last Friday. But we also have some other very cool things with this. We've got Angel in conjuncting Vesta. We've got Angel in conjuncting Blessing, two spiritual asteroids this week. The quarter cycle is always about rebuilding and reaffirming one's foundation. So that's what's happening between now and Tuesday. And to speak back to what Nancy had talked about, the violence, not just here in Western New York, but elsewhere, and the anger and the discord and the antagonistic words, that comes from that unexpected Uranus-Mars conjunction. And at the same time, there's always this intervention that is in our back pockets, and that's happening right now. All right, so be open to this. All right, so that's what I want to say to you all about this. And I love what Ryan did, automatic writing, and whatever I was connecting with ripped me up one end and down the other. Okay, always say a prayer when you're opening yourself up. Oh, I sound like that grandmother type. Always say a prayer. Always put your protection on, right? Clearing out what no longer serves you. Absolutely, Joanne. Absolutely. The power of positivity worked very well for me today, says Cindy. I love that. Hi, Becky. Welcome. You blame the planets for everything that happens to me. I never take responsibility for everything I do. That's why, my friend, many spiritual religious organizations denigrate astrology, because people say, well, Mercury made me do it. that's not a good habit to get oneself into, because we do take personal responsibility. The communication of the planets are simply weather. We can accept or reject, right? Okay, friends, let's get to our new moon. This happens next Tuesday. And yes, I'll talk about it next Tuesday as well, because it's worth talking about. So, the Sabian symbol with the new moon at 21 degrees of Cancer. Here's your instructions. Find where Cancer falls in your chart. That is being rebooted. That is giving us a new lease on life. Well, what's Cancer? Cancer's home, security, feeling, protection. Cancer can be food. It can be helping others. It can be mothering. You could say Capricorn is fathering and Cancer is mothering, taking care of oneself first with the food and the good sleep and so forth. So Cancer energy is being ignited in the sky next Tuesday on July 14th. All right, great. Now, some aspects of this new moon include this. It's squaring Vesta. Vesta is the asteroid, a very strong asteroid, which represents spiritual practices. So I think one of the messages of this new moon is simply, hey, get yourself together and practice what you preach. If you are a spiritual being that claims to be a spiritual being, get into your routine, get into your practice, and it's a nudge to do so, whatever that means for you. Venus will finally get out of very highfalutin Leo and dramatic Leo. Love and money and Venusian things have been accentuated by the sign of Leo, dramatic, right? And then we go into hardworking, service-oriented, unselfish Virgo Venus, right? And so this will be taking place at the new moon. Actually, Venus goes into Virgo before then. Let me give you the exact time so you can get your diet under control. Virgo Venus can be so nitpicky. I can take credit for that because I am a Virgo Venus. They dot their I's, they cross their T's, and they can be a little bit of a nitpicker. Where is it? It's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 1:22, beautiful Venus goes into the sign of Virgo. That's Eastern Daylight Time, by the way. All right, so Venus in Virgo is one of the aspects of this new moon, but she's next to the South Node in Virgo within days when the nodes shift. Translation, my dear friends, in July of 2026, we're going to be seeing so much exciting astrology. I'll be talking about the really exciting sextiles next week, Wednesday. You don't want to miss that. And I'll be teaching a class on it along with the new moon next week. You don't want to miss that. So I'll be putting that out in my newsletter and explaining what I'm talking about. But the big cycle that all of us have been dealing with is flushing away negative Virgos since January 15th of 2025, that on July 27th of 2026, we're entering a new gestalt, a new collective phase when the nodes, i.e. the moon's eclipse cycle, moves into Aquarius and the sign of Leo. So for the past many months, we've been very consciously excising self-doubt, self-criticism, negativity. It's all been in our face in the culture. But if you have strong Virgo planets, you may notice between probably in the past month up until July 27th, it's the last gasp of self-criticism. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Venus is going to soften it, but Venus on top of the South Node is also saying, hey, remember the time that so-and-so dissed you and hurt your feelings and you didn't retaliate? Or remember the time you were humiliated in front of your teachers in 5th grade? Wow. be prepared for some of these old memories to come bristling out for healing, because simultaneously we have this beautiful asteroid planetoid, Chiron in Taurus, priming the South Node, saying, heal now. Don't fall into the trap of despondency and despair and self-annihilation through your words, especially. So that's a part of this new moon. Okay, I want to just remind you of that. You can really flush away your negative, toxic thoughts that are directed towards yourself. Juno and Pluto are still traveling together. I've never seen that before. Well, they've been retrograde. So Pluto is transformation. Juno is relationships in the sign of Aquarius. The message is let them. Oh, that's not very original, is it? Mel Robbins. But the message really is let people be who they are. Don't take anything personally. That's very strong with this new moon. We also have Jupiter and Hygeia transiting together. Hygeia is public health. Jupiter is truth. My goodness, we've been having so many Senate hearings relative to the COVID crisis. Don't get me started. But the point is, we've also had Senate hearings with MK Ultra, transparency of the CIA messing with people's brains this past week. Hygeia is more than just physical health, it's mental health. So that's close to Jupiter, which is screaming, I want transparency, I want truth. You know, Jupiter went into Leo last week. Boy, it feels very comfortable. I like that. And then we have Vesta and Pallas also activating as well. Boy, I've been very, very, wordy today. I've got to get to the spiritual work in a minute. This is spiritual too. Vesta conjunct Pallas is also saying to us, what are you fighting for? What are you advocating for to help in regards to your spiritual beliefs? That's going to be ignited as well, my dear friends. So at the new moon, make this your point on Tuesday. Make your intention through prayer or other means with the new moon. And this is how it's affecting all of us, right? The new moon is activating for Aries or Aries rising, their home, their family, their relationships with their family. And think in terms of finding the security within your family of heart or your family of origin, and doing a lot of deep healing. Healing is a part of this new moon. For Taurus or Taurus rising, since Chiron is now in Taurus and it's trining the South Node, the Taurians are saying, I'm really going to get rid of that toxic thought form. I'm going to get rid of self-talk that is toxic to me. That's a good thing for this new moon for your Taurus people or Taurus rising. Gemini, it's about money. It's about self-esteem. It's about becoming bigger and better and finding a way to attract what can feed you and your family in a new way. The focus, of course, is on Cancer. So wherever you find Cancer in your chart, if you're a Cancer rising or Cancer sun, this is your new moon next Tuesday. Second happy birthday for the Cancers. If you're Leo or Leo rising, you might be a little bit on the fatigued side this upcoming week. It's okay. Meditate, pray, and retreat from too much commotion or interference of people's vibration. If you're Virgo or Virgo rising, it's the opposite. Get out there, make friends, be a friend, join a group, be in a group. I don't know, just be friendly, Virgos. It's a great time to be social. For you beautiful Libra or Libra risers, it's about your career. It's about your leadership. It's about asking for a promotion or changing the wheelhouse of your career. For Scorpio, if you can possibly get away next week, this new moon is saying to you, expand your life by travel or learning. One or both, right? If you're Sagittarius, it's all about bolstering up your long-term financial security and finding strong, intimate connections with others in a new way. For you Capricorns, this particular new moon is your relationship new moon. It's asking you to pay attention to how you partner and improve it. For Aquarius or Aquarius rising, pay attention to your health practices and the way you're doing your work. And Pisces or Pisces rising. Have fun. Hear that, Ryan? Have fun. Be creative. Find love. The new moon is activating your 5th house. There you have it, friends. Okay. I talk too much. Let's do some spiritual work. And doing those emojis, Ryan. Okay. Oh, that's why FDF's just proved lab. I thought that I've been seeing those on the shelves for a while. Not for me. I'm not eating my food from a lab. No way. Come on, Ryan. It's going to be good. Your birthday's on the 11th. That's right, Gertrude said. That's why I was talking to myself about you. So happy birthday. I have to do your solar return chart, my dear. Yes. Hi, John. Good evening. Nice to see you. Hi, nice to see you, Paula. Okay. Uranus conjunct is your moon. Oh, wow. Barbara, have you been on fire this past week? A little bit more short-tempered, and that's okay. It's okay to be grouchy once in a while. You know that. And clearing out no longer needs you. Exactly, Joanne. Very vivid nightmares. Oh, wow. Write those down, Cindy. We'll look at them for you. Happy birthday, Cindy. Everyone throw a big love wheel around beautiful Cindy, her birthday. Hi, Mary Russo. Nice to see you. Okay, let's do some message work, dear friends. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love, light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and best. So we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. I am with you, Ryan. I didn't jinx it. My thumb has to come to Mr. Ryan. Okay, let's just throw out the astrology, or maybe be inspired a little bit by the astrology, but let's just get really into the right brain as I'm tuning into your energy. I'm seeing you hovered around your computer, preparing class, preparing research, and there is a person on the other side of life, and he was kind of scholarly. I don't believe let me describe him to you, Ryan. He's a gentleman who had some esoteric interests. He may not have been like a grandfather or an uncle, but a teacher or a guide of some stripe who often gives you guidance when you're doing your research. In other words, look here, look there. He's reminding you that when the student is ready, the teacher arrives, number one, and number two, for you already know this, he's saying, that your openness and your curiosity is what's leading you, and just relax into it. You're a very humorous person, but there's a very serious side to you, because he says that you have the weight of the world sometimes on your shoulders, because you're so inspired to help other people with information. And he's saying that sometimes it's not what you say, but it's just who you are that inspires people. Especially, he's moving the environment to your work, your professional job, and that you're kind of guarded at times. You're very friendly, but everyone doesn't know all of your avid interests in the spiritual, paranormal, UFO venues. But when you say a couple of words, you actually inspire people. So he's saying, keep up the subtlety, but don't be afraid to be more transparent. I'm seeing a big circle around September for you in a positive way. And this has to do with creating some groups in your hometown that are study groups. You might be meeting in a library, but these are not like Zoom groups. You might be actually invited to do maybe some adult education programs, but something this September where you're physically meeting with people who are like-minded and you're facilitating some workshops in your hometown. So I'll leave that with you, Ryan. All right. And then our next little read here. And I am with Janet Rovison. Hi, Jan. My thumb came to you, Jan. I think you're still here. I'm presuming you guys are there. All right, Janet, as I'm tuning into you, the first thing I'm picking up with you is trigger point therapy, acupuncture therapy, but it's like a new form of therapy that you might be learning about and helping with some of mm, your challenges with your health, but be open to maybe learning for yourself some of the finger point therapy. Talk to your PT person, talk to anyone that is in the know. There are ways that you have not operated on yourself, but I'm saying it's like self therapy that you're going to be doing. Some of us might in this room might know about the Hono tapping. Honopono is different than the tapping, but EFT. I'm giving those to you right now. That there's some things you can do for yourself that are physical kinesthetic healing tools that you can do without going to a professional. That's number one. Number two, Mom's coming in here, and she's giving a big bouquet of butterflies. It's like, I know at Lilydale they do a butterfly release. Well, she's giving a butterfly release to you. And she's saying that sometimes you just like to stare out the window with the kitty cats and see the birds. And there's a couple butterflies in a low-lying bush. If you look out this one window in your back of your home, to the left of that, from where you sit and look, there's some bush that attracts butterflies. And you think of her when you see these butterflies, and she's giving you a bouquet of butterfly messengers for you. And she's also saying, honey, don't forget the angels. That's her message for you. Don't forget the angels, that they're there to uplift you, and you will find angels at every crossroads. That's a message from your mom, honey. Given to you with lots of love and light. All right, friends. We're past time. Love you all, and I hope you have a very good new moon. Don't forget to make your wish prayerfully, respectfully, and honor yourself and honor your own self-care with this new moon. I mean, Cancer likes to mother other people, but mother yourselves, because it's a great opportunity to become healthier and more secure within yourself. That's the thing I want to say. Many blessings. See you next week. Okay. Sending you lots of love. Oh, thank you for the confirmation. Have a great week, dear Kathy D. Everyone have a beautiful week. Thanks for showing up. Oh, one more thing. If you happen to be in the neighborhood tomorrow or Friday, the neighborhood of Lilydale, I'll be doing the clairvoyant messages tomorrow at the 2:30 service in the auditorium at Lilydale Assembly. A. B, on Friday, I'm doing the lecture at Lilydale. So I'd love to see you out there. And I have a really cool class coming up on the 25th of July that combines both human design and astrology. That's a day-long class. So rock on too, Greg, sir. All right, much love to you all. I just threw my little commercial in. Take care. See you next week.